Alright, so my camera ran out of room on it. I'm doing this all on just like a regular cheap little digital camera that happens to do video also. So anyway, I don't know if I mentioned, so I talked about the wiring in here is kind of exciting, but it's never, the only issues I've ever had have been pretty easy to figure out. Meaning, like a bulb went out and I wanted to make sure whether it was the bulb or that, and I was able to test in there pretty well. No shorts or anything of that nature at all whatsoever, so I don't want to give that impression. There's the handheld VHF I got that would be going with the boat. This is our Arrigo stovetop. We love this thing. It's like about the safest thing you can have. I built this gimbal for it. Anyway, those pot holders too are like 50 bucks a set or something. They really rake you on those. Anyway, doesn't boil water super fast, but it works fine. It's also actually pretty good for doing sauces and stuff. But we do have a separate little camping propane burner that we like to use because just for making tea and stuff like that. But we find the combo of using both of them to be a pretty good way to go. Anyway, here's the, I already showed you the sink, didn't I? And that. Okay. So, here's one of the benches. The batteries are down under here. And this is the solar control module. Flashing green means you're fully topped off. It's really nice being able to get the data on this stuff, because if you are wondering how much power something's sucking or how much you're using, you can just check it out on there. This bench flips up for storage. That's the cord we use to plug in the autopilot, which is over here. See it up against the wall there? That's the 70s auto helm, the sweetest autopilot ever. I feel like that thing's probably going to last a million years. It's built like a tank and it's all analog, so nothing to break. Our 80s auto helm kind of sucked. In here we have two batteries, 115 amp hours each, for 230 amp hours of power. We've got more storage here. We just have a bunch of stuff down there. And you can access it also through this thing here. See, I got a little inverter down there. There's the propane burner. But obviously just more storage. This bench used to flip up and made a ridiculous bunk bed, which we thought was kind of absurd. But ever since I've put in the bookshelves, it doesn't flip up because it would actually push against the strut there. But if you wanted to get crazy and rip the bookshelves out, you could always have a bunk bed going for you there. But here's the dinette. We store some sails under there. That's my trumpet. There's a big drawer here, and actually underneath and behind that drawer you can store stuff too, like if you're trying to smuggle liquor or something like that. I'm just kidding. We have two drawers here. There's the GPS that comes with, some padlocks for the cockpit, more drawers here. Let's see, on this side we got a little tool belt I installed. You can kind of put your like tools greatest hits on that thing, so you don't have to dig deeper for something you're gonna want. There's storage under here. There's one of the through holes, if you can see it. Actually, I don't think you can make it out very well, but they're just the classic ones you'd see at a marine store, the bronze ones. That's about all that's going on down there. I store the alcohol for the Arrigo down there, which you can get in Mexico, despite what some people might tell you. I don't know if I mentioned this, sailbags under there. They seem like they'd be in the way if you were sitting at the dinette, but they're not at all. We always sit at the dinette. It's the best place to sit. We got all these cool food storage things. Amy made these custom curtains. They're pretty sweet. And how about that? Matching head door handle curtain material. Anyway, on into the head. Sink, hand pump style. Surprising amount of storage under this thing. You can shove stuff way back there. Got a little mirror there for you. All these lights work. This is a hand pump style head. I hope it's not too gross for me to open it, but you know, that's a circulate, and then you just flip it and that's pump out. So this thing works great. A little explanation on the head. It has a holding tank because I didn't want to get in trouble with the Coast Guard. So it's basically got kind of a fake holding tank I've never used, and a Y valve. So I'm getting under the V berth here with one hand, so it's kind of hard. There's the shore power cord. if you can see, we have, probably can't see that. Anyway, there's a Y valve down there, and it leads to a holding tank that's never been used that I don't think you would have any way of pumping out. But when the Coast Guard boarded us, I just zip tied that Y valve on the side that went to the holding tank, and they didn't have a problem with it. So you're good there. We always just pump out like everybody in reality. So and there's a ton of storage under this other side of the V-berth. We use that for holding about 2 months worth of food. This V-berth is pretty nice. It's got a little more headroom than some. It's got these railings along the side. That's the pad that you put in to turn the dinette into a full-on bed. We got a really nice little mirror in here. Amy made that too. Here's into the anchor locker area. This pulls down, so your chain and stuff's all down there. I mean, I never really have to get in there because nothing ever fouls up, so it's kind of, but maybe that would help you in your plans for fixing up the anchor locker. Looking out the hatch. So here's the bureau. These two whole things are gigantic. They go way back there. We got 3 drawers here. Actually, you know what? It's 2 drawers. And this last one is a flip down where you can shove a bunch of stuff back there. This goes back a little farther than it looks because we have it shoved with stuff, but even in that lining back there we put hats and things like that. So I don't know if you can tell, I'm standing straight up. I'm a 6-foot guy. You can stand right in the middle, but not past these, but that's where you sit anyway. Trying to give you a good view of the area, clock a barometer. Trying to think of anything I missed. Anything I missed, Amy?
We have infrared lights for
your
sailing.
The night vision. We got one of those in the V-berth one out there.
It does both.
Yeah, little herb garden. Amy's not a short girl either. She's the same height as me basically. She's like 5'11", so that's how big it is in there. Fire extinguisher.
These are all like...
Oh yeah, that's a person length thing there. So obviously if you convert this side, you've got, I don't know, what, a single or a double? Single bed, basically.
Double for a couple.
Double, yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying to think if there's anything you guys asked about or anyone else might ask about. I think it's about covered. Oh, fin keel, spade rudder, very forgiving to sail with. You got a lot of agility with that, and people would probably complain that the drawback would be the boat doesn't sail as straight, but when you have an autopilot hooked up to it, it sure stays going straight. So at that end, I think it's very nice that it has a fin keel and a spade rudder because it gives you a lot of forgiving sailing and agility. We've been in some rough weather and still been able to sail rather than straight downwind. We've been able to work our way between the waves and get the direction we wanted to go. This boat is very... you would reduce the main probably before you drop the jib, because if you keep too much main up versus how much jib you have, you might get some weather helm. But I just mainly do that because I don't want to wrestle the tiller. I like it just to be gentle. So if I was going to replace any one of the sails, I'd probably replace the main. It's good, but you'd maybe get one with double reefs. We have a single reef in it. I always kind of wanted that, but we wouldn't replace the sails if we were going on. There's a little couple really small tears in the what sail? Jib? Working jib?
Maybe.
Genoa? In one of them, there's a couple tiny tears that have been repaired near one of the corners.
In the working jib.
Yeah, working jib. They're all pretty rough. I mean, looks-wise, they've gotten grime on them. I'd say the Genoa is in the storm jib's absolutely new. The Genoa is pretty good, but it's kind of like a little too tall for this boat, so it develops like a belly at the bottom, but it doesn't really affect sailing. It just kind of doesn't look as slick as some boats. Anyway, any further questions, I guess you just email me because this video is going to take forever to download, so hopefully this has been helpful. And you sure usually can't get a boat like this for $4,000 bucks, that's for sure. Anyway.